Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get notification every time I upload a video. Today's video is going to be a power review, season 5, episode 3. Are we on the same team? Now, we're not going to talk about everything. I'm just going to get to the key points and my theories and all this stuff of what happened in this episode, because if I talk about everything, this video will be very, very long and it will take forever to upload. So the episode starts out with Ghost. He's in the bathroom, like washing his hands and stuff, and he's like hallucinating, seeing blood on his hands. So it could be a metaphor too, because he literally does have blood on his hands, because he just came back from killing the drunk driver. And then he ends up getting ready for work or whatever he's going to do for the day. And then he get a phone call from like the front desk or whatever, and it was like, Mr. St. Patrick, you have a visitor. He was like, who is it? He was like, it's the police. He was like, okay, send him up. And he wasn't even like fluttered or anything. I'm like, the police coming already to question him about the murder of the man he just killed? But no, it was the police coming to question Tariq about the story that he gave, because you know Tariq gave the story that he came out after Raina. But since Ghostum did that press conference and put this the reward money up, people have been giving tips, and the tip was that Tariq came out before her and she came out after Tariq, and he questioned Tariq about it, and Tariq was like, maybe they didn't see me go back in, because your ass didn't go back in yet. What do you mean? And then he was like, well, why would they think you went out before? And he was like, he didn't know. And he also asked him, why did he go out in the first place? And Tariq was like, he didn't know. Tariq is quick to lie on his feet. Like, he really is his mother and his father's child. Like, he's so quick on his feet with lying. But Tasha shut that down. She was like, well, he got to get ready to go for work. I guess she don't want him like put no more stories out that that he could be caught up in lies. So the less talking for Tariq is the better. So Ghost was like, okay, he's gonna walk him down, and he was looking like Tariq, looking at Tasha and Tariq like, this motherfucker. But he really like make a move like that because the police were right there. And Tasha questioned Tariq when the police left, is it any truth to it? Tell her the truth. And he said no, he wasn't out there. He promised. He's just still lying. Like, it is so weird that he just keep lying. Like, they're trying to protect you. That's just like when people who's in trouble and they lie to their lawyer. Like, you can't keep lying to your lawyer. They need to know like the whole truth so they can try to cover it up or like get ahead of it before it gets out. But Tariq is still lying, and Tasha's just like, okay, Tariq. I don't think she really believed him, but she was just like, okay, she just said okay. So when we see Ghost, he goes over to Kanan's, or I think it's Tommy's house. He goes over to Tommy's house, and Kanan them there, and he was questioning Kanan about Tariq and about Ray and all this stuff. And Kanan was like, well, y'all, I ain't never talked to her. Like, y'all told me to stop talking to the little nigga, and I stopped talking to him. Like, what you want me to do? And then Tommy was like, what's up with all these questions? He was like, because the police came by today. He was like, oh. And he was like, you love being on TV, Ghost, and for you to be a criminal. You love being in front of the TV. Criminals don't be on TV. But Ghost is trying to get legit, Tommy, so that's why he has to do what he has to do. But Tommy is like putting Ghost in his way, like you don't need to be on TV, dog. You are a criminal. Like, you're gonna attract more people to you. So Ghost ended up eating whatever. He said he had to go take care of some errands and stuff. So basically he had to go meet with Tate, but I don't think he told him that. And as he getting ready to leave, Tommy stops and was asking him, I need to clean some money through the club. And Ghost was like, no, I need to stay squeaky clean. I don't need nothing to come out. And he was like, what else Tommy said to him? I think that was it. But while they was talking, you could see Kanan eavesdropping, like trying to hear. I don't know if he actually heard what Tommy said, but he didn't really say anything. And Tommy was like, okay. Ghost was like, okay, I'll get up with you later. And they did their little handshake, and Ghost ended up leaving. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Kanan told Ghost and Tommy about 2-Bit, how he can flip 2-Bit. And how he saw them arguing, and Ghost was like, well, we all supposed to be on the same team. Like, what are you doing, like, surveillance, and didn't even tell us about it? He was like, I'm reporting to the class right now. And he was like, I think they gonna, he think he's in trouble with 2-Bit, so he think he can flip 2-Bit and all that stuff. And that's when Ghost was like, okay. And we get the detective later. Now, she goes down to the precinct of the detective that questioned Tariq. And she wanted to know, like, about Tariq and Ray and all this stuff, because she found out that Ray went to go see Tariq, But Tariq wasn't in school that day. Tariq skipped school and he ended up talking to Raina. Then they so happened to both die within the same night. And she trying to find out what the connection was. And the detective man was telling her, like, it really wasn't no connection that he know of. But he was just telling her, like, what happened. And then she also said he told her Angela Valdez went to go see Tariq and Raina in school too. And he don't know what that was about. And then she keeps seeing Angela. So she goes to see Angela. And she went to question Angela about her seeing Ray Ray. And, well, trying to see Ray Ray was at his house and all this stuff. And then Tariq and Raina, and why she going to see them at school. And Angela shut that completely down. She was like, look, I'm conducting an investigation. This is a federal investigation. What I do is a part of the investigation. And she was like, well, I just want to know what the connection was, since you access Tariq's records, Ray accessed Tariq's records. Well, she keep calling him Raymond Jones, but she was like, Angela was like, that wasn't in a connection, it just was a coincidence. And that lady ain't buying it. Of course she's not buying it. So Angela, she kept on asking Angela about information about the case and what she doing. And Angela was like, I can't tell you anything. She was like, look, I have to go to a meeting. You can see yourself out, but I'm not going to give you your information. This is a federal investigation. And the lady just took it like, oh, okay. So she ended up telling Angela bye, and she ended up leaving. And when she left, Agent Medina came in. I don't think I ever seen him before. But she was asking him about the Jimenez people. And he was like, well, he don't really know anything about it. She was asking about the girl. Alicia, you know, that's Diego's sister, but they think it's him and his brothers at this point. But she was like, well, he was like, I don't know, maybe she's like a wife, maybe she got his balls in a bunch, maybe she knows some information, because she was like, they're all surrounding her when he's not there, so she got to be some kind of importance within the organization. He was like, he really didn't know, but he said he was going to keep his ear to the streets. And before he left, he asked her, he was like, are you fucking Diego too? And I said, Angela, girl, everybody know you screwing everybody on this show and in these cases to get information that you want. Like, this is crazy. And she was like, if I was, I wouldn't need you. I said, girl, that ain't no comeback. That's an insult. And when she leaves, she literally walks out the door and this guy bumps into her. Like, I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it's something shady up with him. Because as soon as they asked about the Jimenez people, he bumped into her randomly. So he probably was sitting outside her office or waiting for the guy to leave or some stuff like that. But he said his name was Steve Tapio. Remind me of Bad Boy. You know, Tapio, the crazy man on Bad Boys too. But he was asking Angela out on a date, telling him he worked in a DC office and asking her what she working on and all. And I'm like, who randomly asks somebody what case they working on if you don't know anything about it? This is weird. Because of course she's working on a Jimenez case, and she ended up telling him that. And I'm like, Angela, you don't even know this man from a can of paint. You already knew you had corruption within the office. Like, why are you telling this man all the information that you're working on a Jimenez case? You got to crack it, and you're trying to figure out everything going on with it. I'm like, you don't even know this man. Like, he could be connected. Like, what the man name was who got killed for messing with Lobos? The other Asian, I forgot what his name was. But he could be connected like that and just working with the Jimenez people. But he asked her out on a date, and she pretended like she wasn't going to go. She was walking away, and she was like, yeah, I'll go. I'm like, girl. And then we see Dre getting his product, and he in some warehouse or whatever. So he go in to get ready to try to call a meeting. And Diego was in there. And he was like, you tell me you was stopping by. Diego was like, he liked to pop up. And I'm like, Diego is annoying, but not annoying as Dre. And then Arturo, the leader of the Toto's Local, there's a lot of people on this show to try to remember. Like, all these gangs and stuff, like, get mixed up in my head. I might do a video explaining everything, breaking everything down. But I don't know, it may take a lot of time and energy that I don't have right now. But Arturo is there, and Diego is asking him about killing Lorenzo. And he was like, he killed him. And Diego was questioning him. I don't think Diego actually believed him. He asked him, like, how did he know he betrayed him? And all that. As he asked him questions, Drake keep jumping in. He was like, I don't understand why you keep jumping in for questions that ain't got nothing to do with you. For answers that ain't got nothing to do with you. And, like, you could tell he don't like Drake. Nobody don't like Drake. And then he started talking to Arturo in Spanish, telling him that Dre's obnoxious, and I was like, child, Dre, you better learn some Spanish, because that's one thing about Ghost. When he was talking to Lobos them, he knew Spanish. They want him to sit up there and talk in Spanish, and he don't know what they talking about. They could be talking about to kill his ass, and he don't know. But Ghost knew Spanish. He was actually speaking Spanish back when they was with Lobos them. So you need to learn Spanish, pick up on it or something, get a translator or something. Because, child, you can see the tension that Diego don't really like you, and that Alicia's the only one that like you. So he could be plotting and planning it on you, and you don't even know. He's just doing it in Spanish. After all this, they end up going to another warehouse, bringing 2 guys who allegedly was supposed to be with the other guy, what's his name, Leonardo or something like that, of the man who got killed, who Arturo claiming to kill from. And as you can see, Spanky and Dre number 2, well, first number 2, what his name was, 2-Bit, sent the mad that Dre getting to kill to Arturo. And I'm like, Dre trying to save y'all lives, like, because if people find out y'all killed these people, you gonna be dead. Now I think that's what Dre trying to do, save their life and try to keep himself from having to kill them. But they don't see it that way. They see it as a total betrayal. Because Diego might pull up and like, why you killed him? Like, why Dre wanted him killed? So Dre trying to cover his behind, but also not get his friends killed. So Arturo, he was still talking junk, and Diego was asking him, well, how you knew about it? He was like, people in the streets. And then he was like, how you know it's these 2? Let's ask him. And then Arturo looked scared. Dre looked scared because he was about to pull the thing out. He was like, no, just take him out. And Arturo was like nervous about shooting. You can tell Arturo is not a killer. Because any other regular killer like Tommy them, they'll pull out the gun and just pow. They don't even think. But Arturo, he wasn't like that. He like hesitated. But he did end up killing them. And Diego did end up like being pleased, talking about he liked how he handles things. So, and he ended up making Cristobal number 2. He was like, Dre, you seem to not have control, so I'm going to make Cristobal your number 2. He seemed to like Cristobal more than he liked Dre. And when he said he want to make Cristobal number 2, 2-Bit, ooh, you can see him, he was swole. His whole face was like, spanking too, but they ain't really say nothing. So, but they, you can tell they ain't with the jump. Then we get Tate. So when Ghost left the house, he ended up leaving to go meet with Tate later on. They at this dinner with Fancy. I forgot what her name. I think her name Linda on this show, but I don't know. Fancy from Jamie Foxx show. They ended up meeting with her. She was an investor, and they was going back and forth, pitching their ideas and stuff. And then Ghost started talking about a retail space, and Tate was like, "Well, we didn't discuss a retail space." And he was like, she was like, "Well, y'all don't seem to be on the same page, so it's not for me." Because Tate asked this lady for $12 million. And then when she said it's not for her, she ended up like leaving or whatever. She was like, James, I think this is cute and everything for your daughter, but it's just not for me. And she ended up leaving. And Tay get mad, talking about they discussed retail space and all this stuff. And Ghost finally stepping up to him, be like, because he was talking about follow his lead. And Ghost was like, we're supposed to be partners. This is my daughter thing. This is my project. I brought you in, and the only reason why you here because you know I'm successful at business. And Tay was like, yeah, you're successful at running the club, but it's a whole new lead. And I said, child, you sound so shady. But I'm glad Ghost is finally just stepping up to him. Ghost need to just like be Ghost on him, because he's just like trying him. Like, he think he's just running everything, and he thinks that whatever he says goes. And he think Ghost is just some pushover. He ain't no street dude. But one of these days, I think Ghost gonna like pull up on him, and he gonna find out the real Ghost. So after that meeting was over, we see like probably like the next day or so, he meeting back up with Linda. They're discussing everything, and then they talking and stuff, and she twirling her wedding ring around, and she told him to let's finish the conversation upstairs. And she goes upstairs, she tells him to bring the bottle or whatever, and they having sex. And I'm like, this is so awkward, like real awkward. I couldn't even like, I don't know, usually his sex scenes or whatever is like good. I guess Fancy had a no nudity clause, because you know how like every time they be having sex, somebody's like naked. She had on her bra and stuff, but everybody else, they boobs be out. So I don't know, or they wee showing, they booty showing or something. But yeah, he's like banging her back out, and I'm like, child, she just wanted that back. Because Ghost is fine though. Y'all can't lie, that man is fine. The real actor and the regular character. And then child, so he ended up like having sex with her or whatever. And then the next day, Tate meets up with him, asking him about what's going on. And he was like, Linda back on board. He was like, well, how did you get to do that? And he was like, well, I worked some things out. He's my old charm. and dicking her down. I bust out laughing. And I'm like, Tate, no. I guess she ended up telling him, because she was like, her concern after the meeting was your unprofessionalism. And you just proved her point by sleeping with her. And it goes with like, oh, so she done use me. He's like, yes, she used you. But I'm like, just because she had sex with him, that don't make her not be back on board, or her proving his point that he's unprofessional. He probably just wanted some sex. Angela not giving it to him, and Tasha definitely not giving it to him. So he had to go out and kill people to try to release some energy, and then he ended up having sex with her. So I don't know. I don't know how she not back in with that child. That's how that went with Tate. Tate talking about, you need to follow my lead. You need to take some time out. And Ghost was like, who you think you talking to? Like, this is my daughter thing. I will get the money by any means necessary. And he was like, okay. Then we get Tommy's daddy, Teresi. Now we get Sax and Mock going in there to meet Teresi. And they was talking about, oh, we got a deal for you and all. And Teresi was like, y'all must not know that me being in here, that means I'm not no snitch. And I'm like, okay. So they trying to make him snitch, and he ain't gonna snitch. And then they started asking about Tommy. Talking about Tommy Egan, or should we say Tommy Patrick Teresi. And Teresi just started laughing. So I was going to be like, okay. So he ain't finna fall for the okie doke. And then Teresi was like, so I had to have my lawyer to file some grievance things for me to get out early, so y'all can realize, or try to come to me with a deal with Tommy Egan. And he was like, they was like, oh, so you playing all this? He said, yeah, I playing all this. Y'all think y'all came up with this? No, I let him start visiting me. Y'all didn't take the bait, so I had to have my lawyer file some kind of grievance thing. And they was sitting back. They was like, oh, you played us. He was like, yeah, I want a deal. And then it was like, the Tommy suspected the thing. He was like, no, he just think I just want to be the father that I never was, and him be the son that I never knew. I said, ain't this about to be Tommy getting played? I said, I hope Teresi is just playing and not actually about to snitch on Tommy, because he was doing life, and now all of a sudden he getting out. His own crew gonna be questioning him why he getting out as well. So I don't get that part. So he ended up calling Tommy from Mock's phone. I guess he called private or whatever, telling Tommy how he about to get out, how some crooked prosecutor, they throwing all his cases out. Now Tommy is like, he's suspicious of him, which he should be. And he's calling them in front of Mock them and all that stuff. So he ended up like telling him all this. And he was like, he can't wait to see him and spend time with him. And he hung up the phone and gave Mock back the phone and started back laughing. I said, child. Now we see Kanan meeting with Two-Bit. Now he's standing on some random corner, and Two-Bit walking around some random corner. Like, I guess he been following him, so he know like where he's at, whatever. And Two-Bit, he was like, "What's up, Kay?" He was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Dre seen you, Dre." You know, he's talking about, "Oh, you ain't heard about me and Dre?" And he was telling him about how Dre cut some man's tongue out and shot him in the head. But Kanan the one who cut the man's tongue out and practically made Dre shoot the man. Because Two-Bit was like, yeah, he went, the guy, I forgot who they called it, what his name was, Brox or something like that. He was like, yeah, he went missing. They say he took somebody out and he had to go. He was like, no, that nigga dead. I can show you where the body at. You know where Dre had his body at. I say, Dre only got a certain spot that he had his body. I hope he ain't tell Kanan for real, because Kanan looked dirty. And Two-Bit was looking like, I can't believe he lied to me. So now he practically got the wheels turning in Two-Bit head, because Two-Bit already seen all this stuff go down. He done bossed up on him, told him he worked for him. He gave his kill to somebody else, and now he think Dre lied to him. This is like 3 strikes right here. And then he was like, yeah, the new connect, they like that nigga Cristobal more than they like Dre. He was like, everybody likes everybody more than they like Dre, which is kind of true. Everybody like everybody more than they like Dre. It's on this show, in real life, like, Kanan did tell the truth about that. And then he was actually telling him about the shipment and all this stuff. I'm like, Two-Bit, why you telling Kanan about the new shipment coming and all this stuff? How Cristobal gonna get the shipment? And I'm like, ain't this against like code for your crew or something like that? Like, I ain't in the drug game, but I know you're supposed to be telling people when the drop's gonna be and who gonna get the drops, because people gonna know, right? But that's how it happened. So, and as we see later on in the episode, Kanan actually robs Cristobal. Like, Cristobal getting the shipment or whatever, and it was 2 dudes. I don't know if it was Spanky and Two-Bit, but that's what I'm assuming. Or it could be from Kanan's crew, because Kanan was talking to people in the car, like 2 or 3 people in the car, when they was watching Two-Bit and surveillance and Two-Bit and Dre and all them. So it could be that too. So yeah, so he ended up getting in the back seat. Soon as Cristobal got in the car, because it was like, I think, what, 200 grand, 300 grand, something like that. Cristobal, he had like this stupid mask. And he got his real voice. And I'm like, if Cristobal see you on the streets, he's going to recognize your voice. And then he put the guns in. He was like, give me your gun. He said, give me your gun, give me your money, your keys, or something like that, and your phone. And Cristobal was like, don't think of, he's like, do you know who I am? He's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, nigga. He say, I'm gonna get you. Just believe I'm gonna get you. You ain't gonna get away with this. And I think Kanan ended up hitting him in the back of the head with the gun. And he was like, your mother's a puta. I think he said your mom is a hoe or some shit like that in Spanish. And I'm like, child, Cristobal, you look at this man and kill you. And then we see Cristobal like the next day meeting with Dre. They was in the warehouse or whatever, and 2-Bit was telling him about it. He was like, he already knew what was going on. And I'm like, 2-Bit, were you involved in this, you and Spanky? Because y'all look like two fools going around trying to get into a crew. You can't be going around trying to get in from crew to crew. Like, you got to pick somebody. You can't be with Dre then try to get in with Kane and like, no, you can't do this. Because they going to see your disloyalty. They going to be like, why you ain't going to go to the next nigga? Like, when you done with Kane. And like, so after Tommy got that call from his daddy, he goes over to see Keisha because he wanted to talk to somebody. And Keisha was like, Tommy, what are you doing here? He was like, I want to talk to you about my dad and my daddy getting out. And she was like, well, he was like, can I have a drink? She was like, no, you can't stay home. He said, you got some company on it? She's like, that's none of your business, Tommy. And she was like, have a seat, Tommy. So he started talking to her about how he's suspicious of his daddy getting out. He's supposed to get life. And is he a snitch and all this stuff. And Keisha gave him some great advice. She was like, well, it could be true, but he could also want to make up for lost time. So you just say he didn't know you or whatever. She was like, if you have your suspicions like this, have somebody check him out and see like if it pans out. If it pans out, then just go in with precaution and just take care of things like that. So he ended up trying to kiss her and she turned her head away or whatever, and then he ended up leaving because they ended up telling each other that it was a mistake between them. But you could tell Tommy's still trying to get back in and get some cootie cat from that girl. But child, she ain't falling for it yet, so we'll see if she actually does fall for it. So after he tells her that, he calls Proctor, and they out on some dock or whatever, and Proctor was like, I can't be seen with you. Why you keep calling me? I'm not your lawyer. And he was like, I did check it out. It does seem legit from the surface. So I don't know if Proctor really, because he was like, if he was snitching, he'll be in witness protection. And Tom was like, that could be true. And then Proctor was like, I can't be seen with you till I get my law license back. And then Tommy asked him, you know somebody who can launder some money for me? I said, Tommy, are you serious? And Tommy was dead serious too. And Proctor was like, no. He was like, because you do know a lot of criminals. He was like, no. He was like, I don't know why you keep worrying about your law license. There's plenty of ways to make money. He was like, legally. He was like, I ain't say all that. I said, Tommy is crazy. How you flat out ask somebody like, do you know somebody who can loan some money for you? That's just like ask somebody, do you know somebody who can steal some money from me and then buy me some clothes? Like, that's just crazy. Proctor tell Tommy to leave him alone, and Tommy just laughed. I guess somebody like, I'm going to call you whenever I want to call you. That's basically what that laugh was stating. And we get Tasha in the grief meeting. Now, she's there by herself. This time, Ghost's not there. I guess because he out handling the business with Tate. And the couple revealed that the guy who killed their kid was killed. And Tasha immediately looked at Ghosty. I said, that's crazy when you know your husband is a killer. And then anybody bring up something, you know how your husband is, that he actually killed these people. And they was like telling that story, and they was like, they don't feel better. They can kill 100 people, but I thought it was gonna make me feel better and bring them. It's not gonna bring them back. The mother was really distraught. Tasha looked like she wanted to cry too, but she was holding it together. And then the man was telling the story how they suspect him, and I was like, I knew they were gonna suspect that man. I hope that man got a great alibi, because Ghost done made stuff worse. So when she get home, she asked Ghost about it. Did you kill the grief group say that the man, the drunk driver, was killed? Did you do that, Ghost? He was like, nope. And she was like, Ghost, I can't fucking believe you. What, you a vigilante now? She called that man a vigilante, y'all. And he was like, it'll make people feel better. He was like, no, people don't feel better. They feel even worse, and now they suspect the man. And then he was like, well, ain't nobody gonna miss him. Tasha, he ain't gonna kill nobody else child for me. And she was like, well, you don't get to make that call. He was like, I've been making that call since you met me. I said, ooh. That is kind of true, because we know him goes for 5 seasons. And goes do whatever the hell he want and gonna kill whoever he want. And she was like, you running around killing everybody. Why you can't kill Dre, and why you refuse to kill Kanan? And I'm like, why she want Kanan dead so bad? I really want to know what Kanan did to her for her to want Kanan dead so bad. Because she been wanting Kanan dead before Raina even got killed. I don't get it. And then we see her meet with Angela later on. This is so weird, her meeting with her husband's mistress. Well, ex-mistress. And Angela was telling her about the detective lady, the IA lady. He's still trying to pry into the investigation, all that stuff. And Tasha was like, well, you have to shut her down. She was like, well, I don't know if I can shut her down. You're going to have to bring Jamie in it. And she was like, Ghost can't find out. And I'm like, why does she keep calling Angela Ghost in front of Angela? You knew Angela was trying to figure him out if he was Ghost all these past few seasons. But you steadily calling Ghost in front of Angela instead of James like you used to do. I don't get it. I really don't get. Maybe I'm trying to see if the writers just slipping this in there, or the writers forgot the story that they wrote previously about Angela trying to figure out who was Ghost. But she keep calling James Ghost in front of Angela. I don't get it. I don't know. I might do a breakdown on that too. I don't know. But Angela's still not like picking up on it or whatever. She's like, well, we're gonna have to figure something out. Like, if I can't stop her, then I don't know, something's gonna have to happen. Somebody's gonna have to stop her. And after she meets with Angela, she goes and meet with Keisha, and Keisha was asking her about how Tariq was, and she was like, I don't know how Tariq is. He just keep lying and not telling the truth, and we can't really like figure out what's going on. She don't know why he's like that. And Keisha was like, really? Y'all been lying to these kids their whole lives. And she was like, they can't do stuff that they don't see. Y'all don't tell them the truth. And Keisha was like, Tasha was like, and she was like, I'm sorry. Keisha was like, I'm sorry. She was like, no, that's what I needed to hear. She was like, yeah, we have been lying to them because we've been trying to protect them. And Keisha was like, well, you have to tell them the truth. Even if they don't like it, they still need to know, because you just don't need to be lying to them. And I was like, Keisha did really give her some good advice, even though it came out kind of like crazy a little bit at first. But that what Tasha needed to hear, because later on we see her dropping Tariq off at Choke at nighttime. I'm like, who go to school? I mean, it was like pitch black dark at night. Maybe it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But why the hell is she taking him to the school in the middle of the night? She don't want people to see him leave? I don't know, child. But they pull up to the thing, and she was like, she started explaining to them how they were trying to protect them, how the father sold drugs, and how they didn't really sell drugs to as a way of life. They just sold it to get out of the hood. His dad was always a business person. That's when Tariq finally broke down and told the truth about how Raina ran out after him while he was hiding for Ray Ray, and he actually saw Ray Ray kill Raina. I said, oh my gosh, finally. Maybe that's why he was waiting for Tasha to tell him the truth, so he could just like get everything out, the truth for the truth. And he was talking about how he watched her get killed, and I actually did feel sorry for him for a little bit, because we gotta understand, he is like a teenager. He's probably like 13 or something like that. He is a teenager. Raina is his twin, so he still is technically a child, and watching somebody get killed, even if it is kind of your fault, because that's your twin too. It's like you and her had a connection or whatever, and you watching somebody get killed. Like, even a grown person, like an adult, can't handle nobody getting killed in front of them. That's gonna traumatize them like forever. But Tariq, he like confessed and started crying, and he leaned on her. She was crying too, and I'm like, finally, he's telling the truth. Finally, because he was getting on my nerves. Like, Tariq, stop. But I still don't understand why she was dropping him off in the middle of the night though. So we get Ghost. He calls Tommy back and told Tommy, like, okay, yeah, he's gonna launder the money through the club or whatever, and told him, and Tommy was like, you still gonna take a cut like old time? He was like, yeah, I still take a cut. He was like, okay, that's good. He was like, well, I need one thing from you. You can't be working with Kanan in business. And Tommy was like, let me call you back, because he got a knock on the door, and it was Kanan. Kanan came with the same bags that he just robbed Cristobal of with the money, and he was like, here's the money right here, I want my end. And then Tommy looked at the money. He was like, okay, I had your stuff for you in the morning. And he let him in or whatever. He asked him if he wanted a beer, and he was like, no. He was like, he asked Tommy what wrong with him, because Tommy looked like he was just like jittery, like off the wall. He was like, my daddy getting out. He was like, yo, daddy? When do you get a daddy, man? And he was like, my daddy Teresi. He was like, oh, that's how you know the Italians, you a mob? He told my son, you about to be wearing Italian soup shit. I just bust out laughing. And Tommy was like, no, I don't know, because he supposed to been doing life. And he was, now he's called himself about to get out. I don't know if he was a snitch. And then Kanan was like, well, that what happened to me. I got out. And I'm like, Kanan, how did you get out? Because they never explain how you got out. One day you just randomly got out in season 2. I don't know. But Tommy, he was like, well, what he wanted to do, he said he wanted to hang out and all this stuff. He wanted to play ball. And Kato like, well, shit, go play catch with a bit. He's like, I don't know, just be careful. And then we get Angela. Now, she ended up calling Detective Steve Tapio back because he said he was going to be in town for one more night. So she ended up going up to his room or whatever, and her phone keep ringing. It's Ghost. But she's still not answering. Then other people started calling too. He was like, well, did you need to answer? He was like, no. Excuse me. And then he was like, give me your phone. And he's like, let me see. I thought he wanted to like see in her phone, but he put her phone in the drawer or whatever. And she walked over. He was asking her about like the case or whatever, and she was telling him like a little bit of information because as we saw early in the episode, she had this meeting and she was putting it up, and then she was like, her Hermanos mean brothers. Hermanas means sister. Everybody knows the O's and the S's. Like if you took Spanish, the A is feminine, the O is masculine. And then she was like, but when you say sibling, you say hermanos. Yeah, you always use the masculine when it's like brother and sister or like mother and father. You always use the masculine version. If it's a female and a male, you use the masculine version. And she was like, it's the Jimenez siblings. And then she's like, we got the biggest drug dealers in North America in New York City. And she was like, we're idiots. We've been looking at this wrong. And Sax was like, speak for yourself. I'm like, he really got a hard on for Angela. Like, he really don't like Angela. And then they figured it out or whatever. And Medina, man, he was inside in the meeting with her. So that's what she was telling him about, how they figured it out, how it's the sister and the brother, not just the brothers. And he was looking at her kind of crazy. I think he probably knows something, because she getting closer and closer, and he keep getting these stunned looks, and he keep like asking for little information here and there. So we'll see how that goes. And she ended up like walking over to him, kissing him. I said, Angela, you about to sleep with this man? You don't even know this man. You just met this man yesterday. Girl, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? He can't even give you no information. What you fucking for? Because that's all you do. Have sex with somebody for some information. Girl, she really getting on my nerve, her hoish activities. And James so wrapped up in her stupid ass. Girl. So Tommy and Mama come over. We ain't seen Tommy and Mama all season. We ain't seen her since last season when Tommy got mad at her for hiding a birth certificate. So she was like, I came over to give my condolences for Rhonda. And I'm like, Rhonda? Is she talking about Holly? And she was like, Tommy was like, Rhonda? He was like, yeah, Rhonda, James's daughter. When the funeral? He was like, Raina's funeral was 3 days ago. He was like, Mom, what you doing here? And she was like, my stash is over. He was like, oh, that's why you came over. You ain't came over here worried about Raina. Which I think she probably was kind of concerned, but not as much as a normal person would. So he ended up giving her some coke, and she sniffed a little bit off her hand. And he was telling her how Tourette's was getting out. She was like, what he asking you for? He was like, he's not asking me for nothing, Ma. She was like, yeah, not yet. That man is the devil. He's using you, Tommy. He's going to use you. And I'm like, Tommy, you better listen to your mama. Even though she might be crazy, most of the time, crazy people are right. Then we see Teresi getting out. And who picks him up? Tommy. And he told Tommy, nice ride. He was like, and Tommy asked him, what you want to do? He was like, I want to go get a slice of pizza, see, what the wife name? See the wife, and then we're going to get into some things. I said, child, Tommy, you better check this man for a wire. Because we don't know, like, what's the most, like, I still can't figure the rest of y'all. Is he playing the feds? Is he playing Tommy? Is he playing everybody? But that's my review on Season 5, Episode 3 of Power. Are we on the same team? Tune in this week for more theories and reviews on other shows and products and everything else I do on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any comments or questions or concerns or anything. Or if you think I forgot anything, leave it down below. Thank you for tuning in to me. Thank you for watching me, guys. Bye.